Jesuit order, or the Society of Jesus as they were also known, heeding only the words of the Pope and swearing to defend the Catholic faith unto death, whose mission it was to counter the Protestant Reformation, first through the pen, then later through the sword. These were a type of elite specialist company of men who rained attack after attack against the teaching of the Reformers. They were the army of the Antichrist. Established by the papacy in 1540, and in the words of Malachi Martin, a scholar and best-selling author who served as a Jesuit priest from 1958 until 1964 in Rome, being a close colleague of the celebrated Jesuit Cardinal Augustin Bey, and even the then Pope. In his book, The Jesuits, he states, established by the papacy as a very special fighting unit at the total and exclusive disposal of the Roman Pope, whoever he might be. From their beginnings, the Jesuits were conceived in a military mode. Soldiers of Christ, they were given only two purposes: to propagate the religious doctrine and the moral law of the Roman Catholic Church as proposed and taught by the Roman Pope. Enter Francisco Ribera, a Spanish Jesuit theologian and university teacher who had joined the order in 1570. He determined to first write the Pope out of being identified by the Reformers as the Antichrist. Embarking on writing a 500-page commentary on the Book of Revelation, he proposed that the first chapters of the Book of Revelation referred to ancient pagan Rome, and the rest he applied to a still future period of 3.5 literal years leading up to Jesus' second coming. The Antichrist, he stated, was a single person who would persecute and blaspheme the saints of God, rebuild the temple in Jerusalem, eliminate the Christian religion, reject Jesus Christ himself, destroy Rome, be accepted by the Jews, profess to be God himself, kill the two witnesses of God, and finally conquer the world. To accomplish this, Ribera taught that the 1260 day and 42 months of Revelation chapter 11 verse 2 and 3 as literally 3.5 years, thus rejecting the Reformers' interpretation as being 1260 years. And thou shalt bear the iniquity of the house of Judah 40 days. I have appointed thee each day for a year. Historian Leroy Froome, in his book Prophetic Faith of Our Fathers, Volume 2, states that Ribera laid the foundation for the great structure of futurism, and then, wonder of wonders, in the 19th century, this Jesuit scheme of interpretation came to be adopted by a growing number of Protestants. Until today, futurism, amplified and adorned with the rapture theory, has become the generally accepted belief of the fundamentalist wing of popular Protestantism. Another revered Jesuit to enter the fight against the Reformers' interpretation of the Book of Revelation was Cardinal and theologian Robert Bellarmine, who was viewed by the Roman Catholic Church as one of its most persuasive defenders, who, as an exceptional debater, attacked the Protestant doctrines of the Reformers. Gaining much success, his focus was to nullify the biblical day-for-year interpretive principle used by the Reformers as the foundation of the 1260 years of Antichrist's reign as outlined in Revelation chapter 11 verse 2 and 3. But the court which is without the temple leave out, and measure it not, for it is given unto the Gentiles, and the holy city shall they tread under foot 42 months. And I will give power unto my 2 witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1260 days, clothed in sackcloth. With Bellarmine craftiness, he was able to place the interpretive symbolism of Revelation far into the past and in the distant future. So, according to his teachings, the Antichrist had not yet arrived, thus removing the focal point from the Pope and skipping over centuries of papal apostasy and tyranny. He affirmed that the little horn power spoken of in Daniel chapter 7, as well as the power mentioned at the end of Daniel chapter 11, was indeed a single king and not an institution or kingdom. The last piece of the puzzle that completed the picture of the assault against the Protestants' view of the Antichrist is the Jesuit Luis de Alcazar, born in 1554 and died in 1630 of Seville, Spain. Alcazar declared that the apocalypse depicts the battle of the church in the early centuries, particularly between the Jews and their enemies, and then the church and paganism. Stopping short of the Roman papal power as he intended, so that the Antichrist predated the rise of Roman Catholicism. Therefore, in this new teaching, the reformers were wrong. These men succeeded greatly in their objective and paved the way for the now prevalent teaching concerning the Antichrist, and sweetened by the modern teaching of the rapture as purported by John Nelson Darby during the 1800s, has brought almost all of Christendom to overlook the Pope and the papal power as the man of sin, the son of perdition, the Antichrist. And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints, and to overcome them. And power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb. If any man have an ear to hear, let him hear. The verdict is out. Those Christian churches who hold that these teachings have accepted the deception of the papacy and have for a long time been her daughters. The Jesuits have infiltrated many societies held to be Protestant and have planted her banner of deception, which has bared much fruit to the decline of the truths that the early reformers fought and died to establish. The Jesuits carried the battle right into the territories of their papal enemies. They waged public controversies with kings. They debated in Protestant universities. They preached at crossroads and in marketplaces. They addressed municipal councils. They instructed church councils. They infiltrated hostile territories in disguise and moved around underground. They were everywhere, showering their contemporaries with brilliance, with wit, with acerbity, with learning, with piety. They had a monopoly in the education of Europe for over 200 years and numbered the famous and infamous. They were giants with but one purpose: the defense and propagation of papal authority and papal teaching. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, "Come out of her, my people, that you be not partakers of her sins, and that you receive not of her plagues."